All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning for our third and final discussion in our strategic hiring series on hiring a more diverse workforce. I'm Nicole Shepherd with the Regina Chamber, and you all would have seen that lovely pop-up reminder that this meeting is being recorded this morning. And being that it's the third meeting in our series, we will be posting all of the videos onto our website so that anyone can go back and watch them at a later date. So we have 7 great organizations with us this morning that are going to share more about the programs that they offer to help support your hiring efforts. We have Regina Open Door Society, Regina Work Preparation Center, Neil Squire, Partners in Employment, Takata HR Resources, Conceal Economique et Cooperative de la Saskatchewan. Pardon my French for that one. I'm sure that Anik will pronounce it much better. And the Regina Immigrant Women's Center. So before we jump into our discussion and I turn it over to our wonderful presenters, as always, I would like to start off by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all of the lands that we are gathered on virtually today. The Regina End District Chamber of Commerce is situated in Treaty 4 territory, which is the traditional territory of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota. We also acknowledge the traditional homeland of the Métis and honor their contributions. We respect and honor the treaties that were made on all territories and are committed to move forward in partnership with Indigenous nations in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. If you have any questions for any of the presenters this morning, please feel free to type them in the chat. I see there's already been some discussion in there, so please feel free to type your questions in the chat at any time, and we will make sure that they get asked to the presenters. So without further ado, I am going to turn things over to Tatiana Zotova and Hassan Akbar from the Regina Open Door Society. Tatiana is the Director of Language, Employment, and Childcare, and Hassan is their Employment Services Manager at Regina Open Door. Welcome, Tatiana and Hassan. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Can you guys see my screen? I did try to share it before, but I'm just making sure that's the right screen is being shared. So good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity to participate in this very important discussion and this very important seminar today. So in our presentation, Hassan and I will focus on the ways we collaborate with employers in order to attract and retain newcomer talent.
I think we cannot see the presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. I'll continue. So I will start our presentation with a very quick introduction of the services that we provide. I'm not going to go into all the details, but just to give you a quick overview. We provide both pre-arrival and post-arrival services within our Employment Services Unit at the Regina Open Door Society. And some of the examples of our post-arrival services include one-on-one employment counseling, job readiness and digital literacy workshops, virtual reality simulations, mentoring program, interview coaching, as well as work placement and job shadowing opportunities. So the purpose of our programs is probably very similar to the other service providers that are here today. So the first purpose is to help our newcomers transition seamlessly to the job market through information, knowledge, and skill development. And the second goal is to help our community attract and retain talented individuals who move to Regina from different countries. And this goal aligns really well with the City of Regina vision to become the most inclusive community in Canada, and also with the Saskatchewan Growth Plan. We have identified 3 main collaboration or partnership areas that we can use to work with employers. One of them is the capacity development and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The second one is employer branding. And the third one is definitely employment and anything related to that. So when we talk about capacity development and DEI initiatives, we focus on three main areas in our employment services unit. The first one is the mentorship program, then interview coaching, and becoming a guest speaker. Through these ways, employers can mentor newcomers from different professional backgrounds. They can help newcomers with job interview prep, and they also can present information to our newcomer clients about their organization and also about the hiring processes and protocols they have within their organization. When it comes to employer branding, we have the following opportunities that employers can use. The first one is to participate in our annual Career Link job fair that is going to happen in May this year. Also to participate in our occupation-specific networking events, and we've been going virtual lately as well. And also to participate in our tech skill showcase that is underway and is going to take place in February. So please keep an eye on for some advertising related to that. And the third area, which we'll focus on a bit more, is employment. How can we help employers in terms of employment? First, we share all the job postings to our database of clients, which includes over 2,000 newcomer clients. And we also have 3 work placement programs within our unit. And those work placement programs have both paid and unpaid work placements. And I think I will pass it on to Hassan here to talk more about work placement programs, as he's the one who works very closely with employers and with clients and those programs in that regard.
Thank you, Regina. So we can move to the next slide. Okay, so within the paid work-term programs, we have YES. So within that program, so all these programs are similar to the co-op program. So there is like a training part, and then there's a work-term part. So the first part, which is a training part, our clients go through in-class training, which is 8 weeks, and then after 8 weeks, they go out for a work placement with a local employer. The work placement is 6 weeks, and then after the completion of the work term, we reimburse the minimum wage to the employer. The next program is like a set of programs that are unpaid work terms. So the in-class training is 4 weeks, and then some of the eligible participants, they also receive like provincial training allowance. And then after the training, in-class training, we have like 4 to 8 weeks of volunteer work term. And all this program runs quarterly. So we have like a pool of clients every month that we can send out for work term, and help our employers partner. So some of the details about our training. So if you can move to the next slide. So our in-class training focus on some of these areas. These are specifically related to the Canadian workplace culture. And these are some of the areas that we have identified that newcomers need support in. So once we provide that information in the class, we provide them opportunity through these work placements so that they can gain some hands-on experience, by working with one of the local employers. Our program participants, so all of them have like excellent communication skills. So again, like there's a vetting system, Before we bring them in the program, we interview them. We just want to make sure that they have like ample communication skills that they can survive in a workplace. And then most of our clients have at least a bachelor's degree. And then most of them come with like, they're highly skilled and have a lot of experience, 5-10 years of experience in their profession, whether they have a background in IT or finance or admin or HR, they come with a lot of experience. We have divided our talent pool into 6 broad categories. So if employers have like a hiring need in one of these categories, we can support them. So again, like these are 6 broad categories that we have. Moving on to the goals of the program, work-term goals. So what we have noticed is like that most of the newcomers, when they move here, they lack Canadian experience, and that's what most of the employers are looking for. So through these work placement opportunities, we help them gain some Canadian experience. They are able to develop a professional network within those 4 to 8 weeks. And at the end of the work term, they are able to like get a Canadian reference. Yeah. So all these three things, when they put on their resume, they increase their chances of being noticed by the employers. These are some of the requirements that we expect the employers to support our clients with. Yeah. So providing a meaningful work experience. Again, they are in a transition. There are some learning gaps related to the culture. So we hope that during this 4 to 8 weeks, when they are helping employers with their projects, they are also like employers are also focusing on like providing some more information about the profession, like about the profession and about the overall job market here in Canada. Then at the end, there is a written evaluation, and then they provide a reference letter or a reference whenever the client contact them. Yeah. So the next slide is how do we help employers? Yeah. For the paid work terms, we don't we reimburse like the minimum wage. Yeah. But for the unpaid work terms, what we do is like we provide a $5 million liability insurance that covers the WCB, and if there are other like unfortunate like workplace accidents, okay, which haven't happened yet, and God forbid they won't happen, we expect that, but again, it's better to be prepared. Yeah. We also provide criminal record checks, and then we liaise the whole work term throughout the 4 to 8 weeks period. Yeah. And again, if there are any areas identified by the supervisors, we work with the clients so that they can improve their performance. Some of the steps involved in hosting the work placements through us is like employers can send us a job description, a list of duties, and then we forward resumes, yeah, of the qualified clients. And then we also like help schedule them interviews, and after selection, we send them the agreement, security clearances, and all the supporting documents. So this program, the way we have structured this program is that they create a win-win situation for both the employers and for our clients. Yeah. When should you contact us for the work terms? Yeah. So if you have a full-time training position that's hard to fill, you can always contact us, and we will be more than happy to send you the resume. If you have any short-term projects like a 2-3 month project, we can also share some resumes with you. And also, like if your intention is to provide support to the newcomers, and like if you have the capacity, you can also like contact us. For the employers, at the end of the work term, there is no expectation that they will hire the clients at the end of the work term. But again, if they deem a client who can be a good fit for the position, they can definitely hire them. So at the end of the work term, like the win situation for the employer is that they were able to find someone who was qualified for the position, or they avoided hiring someone who was not a good fit for their organization. Yeah. And then again, we here in this community, we are they were able to provide support to the newcomers. Yeah. For the newcomers, at the end of the work term, if there is a job, that's what we are looking for, which is a great thing. If they don't get a job at the end of the work term, they have a Canadian experience to put on their resume, they have a Canadian reference, and they were able to develop a professional network. Yeah. And also, like with the feedback from the supervisors, they were able to identify areas of improvement, yeah, that can help them in their job search. Benefits for employers are reduced training costs. And again, like you have 8 weeks to train the clients and see the potential of them being part of your organization. Yeah. Efficient recruitment process. Yeah, we do go through all the resume and make sure that we only forward the resumes of the qualified clients to you, so you save a lot of time there. Again, if you have diversity and inclusion goals, it's also a good way to carefully, bring someone in your organization, observe them, and then provide them opportunity to become part of to join your organizations. Employers have complete control over the process. Like if you think that the resume that we send you and there's no one suitable, you can just wait for the next session. Yeah. So you don't have to hire from that pool. Again, diversity brings like a lot of, unique perspective to the organization that can help you deal with some of the challenges that or the projects that your organization have currently. Next slide is, these are some of the achievements that we have. So in the last 1 year, we were able to, there were like 88 clients that we served, and out of 88, there were 83 clients who got work placements with different organizations within the city. And our post-work placement employment rate is 77. If going to the next slide, it's almost like 87%. So that shows the success that we have and the quality of clients that we are sending to different organizations. Yeah. That majority of them, 87% of them, were able to find a job at the end of the work term. If you would like to host a work placement, or if you have any questions about the program, you can contact me or Tatiana. Our email addresses were at the start of the presentation, but again, you can contact us and we will share our contact information with you. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can ask us.
Great. Thank you very much.
We tried to fit into the time limit, so.
No, it's great. There's a lot of information to share on the programs, but I think you did a great job of sharing kind of high level, a lot of the things that you provide, and definitely employers can reach out for additional information if they're interested. I'm just curious, you talked about, Hassan, you mentioned all the different industries that you work with and can fill positions in. I'm just wondering what you're seeing in terms of demand in some of those industries, if that's changed over the past little while, like an increase in the IT sector, or kind of what you're seeing in terms of demand.
So we have a huge demand in IT sector. There's a huge need. A lot of employers are working with us right now from the IT sectors. And then also like admin is another area that we are helping, like supporting a lot of organizations. So we are sending our clients there. Personal care workers, child care workers, these are some of the areas that we help our employers, and we help our clients. So right now we have like almost 25 clients who will complete their personal care worker certification, and then they will be job ready. So these are the three main areas.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So we're going to jump right into our next presenter. Next up, we have Jason Richard, who is the employment specialist at Saskatchewan Abilities Council and Partners in Employment. Jason is going to share a bit more with us on their programs and what they have to offer. Welcome, Jason.
Hi, thank you. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody who organized these last 3 events. They've been really, really informational, and it's good to see some faces again. I know these last 20 months has been not fun, so it's nice to see some familiar faces and some organizations again. I'm going to do my best here to share a screen. I am also a Microsoft Teams person, so Zoom is quite new to me. Did I get it?
Looks good.
Awesome. So at Partners in Employment, I was an employment specialist, so I'm sorry that wasn't updated. I feel really bad about that. A few years ago, we had gone through some rebranding. We had changed our image, our mission, vision, value statements changed a little bit to reflect the new vocabulary. And we also got a really cool new website and a new font. So things changed, position names changed, but our services still remain the same. So now we're actually known as career planners. And so just a few things through here that we're going to go through today. First off, we always start with the Sask Abilities vision, mission, value statement. This is something that you will see in all of our offices when you come throughout any one of the Sask Abilities branches or Partners in Employment branches. All of our offices have this. And so really what we remind the folks we work with, our vision is working together to build inclusive communities for people of all abilities. Our mission, Sask Abilities supports people experiencing disability with programs and services to enhance their lives. And our values, we treat people with respect, honesty, and compassion. Our programs and services are all client-centered, goal-oriented, and accountable, and we value teamwork, excellence, and innovation. So whenever we're first meeting with clients or meeting with employers, this is one of the first things that we touch on, because it's really our values that guide us in how we provide services. And you'll see throughout this, and if you ever talk to any of us or have had a meeting with us, we always talk about being person-centered. Sask Abilities has been supporting individuals experiencing disability or barriers since 1950. We began as the Council for Crippled Children, and throughout the years, we have evolved into who we are today. We have Sask Abilities branches in Regina, Swift Current, Saskatoon, and Yorkton. And some of the services that Sask Abilities provides is quality of life, hub programming, industrial assembly, wood products, sewing, Partners in Employment, which is us, special needs equipment, and residential services out in Moose Jaw. Partners in employment. We offer person-centered principles and supported employment. We began as a community connection for program participants from our Accessibility branch. Partners in employment offices are located in Regina, Moose Jaw, Yorkton, Swift Current, and Saskatoon. And we've been around for over 15 years, and we look to serve over 500 people a year within Saskatchewan province. So a lot of people. Here at Partners in Employment, our service and supports are different for each person. So again, we talk about being person-centered, and the planning that we do, we help empower people to make the best decision possible. We offer a few different services here. So career planning, work readiness, job search, and job maintenance, and I'll go into those in a minute here. Some of the other programs that we offer is our 6-month pre-employment based learning program, which is new opportunities for work. That program I'll also go through in a minute. We offer acquired brain injury support and employment as well. So anybody that is diagnosed with a moderate to severe acquired brain injury, we are able to help support them. And that support looks a little bit different in the way that the individual who would be serving them through Partners Services is going to be with them from start to finish. Whereas if they were working with a career planner on my side, they would just be with me for the career decision-making process. And then we also offer a 3-day vocational assessment over at our 825 McDonald location, which is the Saskabilities branch. That assessment is simply just to assess, academics, hands-on work speed, attention to detail, accuracy, memory recall. It identifies different types of environments that a person may be well suited for. It identifies strengths, it identifies challenges or barriers. And really, the best part about it is that once the report is completed, it comes back with a really beautifully written 28-page report on all the evaluation findings. And then it comes with a ton of suggestions and strategies and ideas to help support the individual. And that service is free of charge if you are registered with Partners in Employment or Saskability Services. There is a fee for service for the vocational evaluation. So if there's an outside organization that feels that maybe a client they're working with, could benefit from the vocational evaluation, that can just be discussed with our vocational evaluator. So we follow the dimensions of support and employment. We really do believe in the continuum of service. So we talk about finding the right person for the right job at the right time with the right support. So you'll see in this continuum of service, career decision-making, skill enhancement, work job search, work job maintenance, and then career growth. So there really isn't the perfect way to start services at Partners in Employment. We do want to meet people where they're at. So when we look at the continuum of service, some folks might come to us, straight from high school, or maybe they haven't worked in a long time, or they're switching careers, so they don't know entirely what their next step is going to be. So they would, start with the career decision making and start to identify what are my next steps going to be. So we do that through developing what we call the person-centered plan with them. That person-centered plan is going to help them make the decisions that are going to be the best choices for themselves based on the information that we've collected together, we've reviewed together. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about informed decision making. And so they work through that continuum of service. So we kind of meet them where they're at. So if they are, again, coming in from, out of high school and not sure what that next step is going to be, maybe there is an opportunity for them to learn about resume writing, interview skills, managing anxiety in the workplace. So we work through the skills enhancement where we provide workshops to folks. Somebody might come in already with a job. Maybe they're experiencing some difficulties in the workplace, and maybe they're new to us, or maybe we've worked with them before, but we would help them connect to work or job maintenance services where the individual will go in and help support them if maybe they're learning some new tasks, or maybe there's some challenges that are arising. Our supports can go in there with the support of the employer and help them develop strategies and different ideas to help accommodate that person and help them be that much more successful. This is kind of a breakdown of each of the different steps that we work through with folks from beginning to end. You'll see in each of those steps, whether it's career planning, work readiness, job search, or job maintenance, the person-centered plan, again, is heavily focused on in there. So career planning, create that person-centered plan. We know that we aren't a one-stop shop. So if there's something that we can't do to help support a person's plan, we will help them get connected to other services in the community in order to add value to the person-centered plan that they're working through right now. We help them become better prepared for the job search by helping them with their resume skills, cover letter writing, application, interview skills, and reference checks just to make sure. And then we move them on to that continuing with service again, where they work through the work readiness stage so they can work on those specific job-related skills. Again, vocational evaluation, the workshops or the new opportunities for work, continue with the plan laid out in the person-centered plan that they developed in career planning. Our job search department, we have work experience coordinators and job developers. Both of those services are geared towards helping them find employment. Job developers are enhancing a job seeker's job search by identifying what their strengths are, helping them do a focused job search, making sure that they are meeting with the right employers and establishing the right supports once they get offered employment. The work experiences are there to ensure, again, that it's going to be the right fit, the right environment, that the right accommodations are put into place. Work experiences are non-paid. Again, we, just like Regina Open Door, we do have liability insurance to help them with that, WCB, so that there's less impact on the employer when they are hosting a work experience for us. And oftentimes at the end of those work experiences, the goal is to obtain employment through there. And then again, the job maintenance services where we can help assess and assist with any problems that may arise, help with communication between the employer and the employee, and then continue to work and develop on those strategies to ensure long-term success. And then work towards eventually fading out from partner services. While we love working with everybody we work with, we know that nobody wants to be with us for the rest of their lives. So we help them work towards that independence through that person-centered plan by reviewing all the goals that they've accomplished and helping them set up any natural supports outside of partners and employment. I apparently took out the new opportunities for work program slide. I didn't realize I did that, so I apologize. But essentially what I want to touch on with that program is that it is a 6-month program. We offer it 3 times a year. We offer it in October, January, and early April. We typically take anywhere from 12 to 14 participants, and the program is a provincial training allowance eligible program. So if they're eligible for it, they could receive some funding for the 6 months. The first 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how fast they get through the learning portion, is spent in a classroom with 2 facilitators. You're working on everything from who am I, what do I value, what's going to be a great fit. They do some work on understanding, who they are and what they're looking for employment. And then they get into the pre-employment basics. So again, resume writing, cover letter writing, they get an opportunity to do mock interviews. They get feedback on the mock interviews, and then job search supports, and then job survival skills. And then once they've completed the in-class portion, they are eligible for 2 6-week work experiences out in the community. And that's building towards learning new skills, strengthening ones that they already have, building their employer network, obtaining references for their resume. And oftentimes, because we've matched those work experiences to meet their employment goals, it has led to paid employment. And that's one of our most successful programs that we offer at Partners in Employment. And I can probably talk to you guys for the next 6 hours about it, but I will stop there. That's us in the tiniest little nutshell I can get us into. We are always available for questions or comments. You can either contact myself directly, that's my phone number and my email, or you can contact the office at the bottom phone number there if you guys have any follow-up questions. There.
Great. Thanks so much, Jason. I I can really see how that people-centered approach and those principles are really woven into everything that you do and really at the heart of the program. I think that that's really great and very important for anyone looking to hire. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing. All right, next we have Michelle Brooks. Michelle is an HR generalist at Takata HR Solutions. Welcome, Michelle. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for inviting us out this morning. I'm just going to bring up my presentation here as well. Can you guys see that? You can see the presentation?
We can now, yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I've never done a 5-minute presentation before, so I will try my best to get through that for sure. But again, thanks for the invite. So we're chatting about hiring a more diverse workforce. And first of all, I just wanted to kind of explain who Takata HR Solutions is. I joined the team approximately 2 months ago after I left my career at SaskTel. I moved over here to do Indigenous recruitment. And so I'm really trying to market our company just so that people will understand how we're entwined with FHQ developments. So kind of starting at the top there, we do have our FHQ Tribal Council, and that consists of 11 First Nations here in Saskatchewan. One of the companies that FHQ Tribal Council owns is our FHQ Developments Organization. And under FHQ, we have 3 different departments. So we have our investments and partnerships, where we are focusing on business that is sustainable. We have our Economic Development Corporation, where we are sharing tools and resources for our nations. And then we have the department I work in, which is Takata HR Solutions. And we are building Indigenous talent for our businesses and as well for other organizations that we work with. So we do work with quite a few private and government organizations. And one of the main things that I do is the Indigenous recruitment. We do also have a consulting side of our business as well. So our team consists of Thomas Benjo. So he's our president and CEO of FHQ Developments. And then Michelle Amia Kapusa is our director of human resources. So she oversees Jason and myself. We are quite a small team. Jason works on our special projects, and then I'm the HR generalist. So a lot of the work that I'm doing is finding Indigenous talent, building up the career development for our talent, and then focusing on matching that talent with the businesses that we hire for. So on the Indigenous recruitment side of things, of course, we are recruiting qualified Indigenous talent. And so what I do is I like to make sure that if I am recommending a candidate to one of our clients, it's someone that I have pre-screened. So that means what I really like to do is I like to invite them in for a Microsoft Teams meeting for about 15 or 20 minutes. I chat with them, I talk about their knowledge, their skills, abilities, what type of work they want to get into. I check to see if there are any career gaps that I can help them with, and then we try to match an organization. I do offer a lot of career development. So if you're following us on social media at all, you'll see that we are offering coaching services and webinars. And again, we are focused, our niche is on Indigenous recruitment here in the province of Saskatchewan. So we are focused 100% on that market. We do facilitate employer information sessions. So if you're a business out there and technical, of course, is probably one of the biggest skills, technical project managers, entry-level positions, mining positions, there's a whole array of folks that we work with. But a lot of times if your organization wants to get talent, what we'll say is, well, let's host an employer information session. We'll make it nice and interactive so that we can intrigue the talent to want to come to that session and then want to come and work for your organization. We do host a signature networking event. So that's coming up in January. And it is a networking session for Indigenous students and Indigenous professionals. If any of the businesses have been to one of our events who are on the call here, it is a really, really nice event. This year, it's actually being held at Mosaic Stadium in the AGT Lounge, and it is really matching that Indigenous talent to employers is what the goal of that is. It's a pretty exciting, fast-paced 2-hour session, so we are getting ramped up and we're quite excited for that. And then we do offer scholarships and bursaries through FHQ Developments. On the consulting side, we do have the team that I introduced you to a couple slides ago, we do have a lot of experience in human resources. Probably each of us probably has around 17 to 20 years of experience working in private and government organizations. And then of course our education goes all the way from degrees in business to masters. So we have a lot of talent where we are able to bring that through to consulting needs as well. On maybe it will be developing job analysis, offering training and development. We do employee onboarding, and then of course anything that is customized for our business's need. Again, I do focus more on the Indigenous recruitment side. That is pretty much where my heart lies. So how do we find talent? So as I mentioned, our niche is Indigenous recruitment. So we do have a large network of First Nations contacts. So we do work with the 74 First Nations, the tribal councils. We have a lot of employment agencies, post-secondaries, trade schools that we work with. When we have a job, one of the employers had mentioned that they do advertise it to their, I think it was the Regina Open Door Society. You said that you advertise your jobs to the 2,000 folks that you have in your database, and we do that as well. And then we do have, again, all of our partnerships. We're always proactively screening talent, coaching, as I mentioned, to make sure that people are job ready. We are promoting our opportunities on our Takata HR solutions and FHQ developments accounts. So if you haven't joined them, I definitely would suggest doing that. And then we're always offering support before, during, and after when we place a candidate. So again, we want to make sure that you find a really good candidate, but we also want to make sure that it's a good fit for the candidate as well, that it's an organization they're going to fit in with well. So working together, we do have a website. It's fhqdev.com/Takata. And this is where you can find information about our organization, our contact information. And then this is where candidates also go to apply to sign up for our networking events, and then as well to become a client of ours. So Facebook and LinkedIn are the places where we post most of our job opportunities and events. We welcome you to join those. And that's the end of my presentation. Did I make 5 minutes? Does anybody have any questions for us?
Was great. Thanks, Michelle. I know you mentioned you've only been there for a couple of months, but it seems like you've kind of dove right in and have a good handle on the programs and everything. So that's great. And so I know you said you've only been there for a couple of months, but the organization itself is fairly new as well, like Takata under FHQ, is it not?
Takata has been around for the same amount of time as FHQ Developments. However, it was branded as Employer Retention Services before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I still sharing my presentation?
Yes, it is still on the screen.
Okay. Give me 1 second to try and get out of there.
No problem.
My apologies. I am also a Microsoft Teams user. So if anybody has any support to help me get out of here, that would be great.
Do you want to try hitting escape if it'll take you out of that screen?
Yeah, there should be a stop share.
There really should be. It was there when I was practicing this. I'm just going to.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
That worked. Great. Thanks so much, Michelle. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat at any time as we go through the presentations. So next up, we have Anik Therian, who is the coordinator of the Connector program with CECS. Anik, I will leave the pronunciation in French to you. I will not subject everyone to my terrible French again, but I'll turn it over to you to share more about your program.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so we do very commonly just go by CECS because even in French, it's a bit of a mouthful. So feel free, CECS is just fine. So we are a French organization in the province. But before I even start, I do want to say not all of our clients are exclusively French speaking. You don't have to be exclusively French speaking to use our services. So a lot of people kind of see the name and then go, oh, well, that organization doesn't really do me any good because, you know, I don't speak French or whatever, but that's not the case. So kind of like a general overview of the organization, we have sort of two sides. We have an economic development side where we provide support to individuals who either are current small business owners or are looking to start a small business. But then we also have our employment and immigration side of things. And so that's kind of where I'm gonna obviously focus right now. And we do have, oh, you know what, I'll make this bigger so you can kind of see. So we do have a few different programs. I am going to focus more so on the Connector program because that is my program, and maybe a little bit more of interest to some of the individuals here. But a couple of programs that we have, Accès à Emploi, access to employment, there's two sort of sectors of that one, I guess. So one is focused on individuals between the ages of 15 to 30. And then the other one is solely for women of visible minorities. And that is a sort of an employment readiness program where, similar to some of the other programs we heard about, there's, you know, kind of an in-class training period and then a work placement afterwards. So those are two of our programs. And then we also do offer one-on-one employment counseling, both to French-speaking individuals as well as English-speaking individuals. And then there's my program, the Connector program. And so again, to kind of try and stay within the time frame, it'll be a very 30,000 feet type overview. But mainly what the program is about is connecting recent immigrants to professionals in Saskatchewan. So we do operate all over the province, mainly Regina and Saskatoon. And the whole idea is it's a networking program. So ahead of these kind of match, connect, refer steps, I do like an intake process. So I'll screen the candidates, all that kind of stuff, make sure that they are sort of employment ready or ready to start meeting professionals in the community. And then once I do that, the whole idea is I get to know them, you know, their background, their experience, all that kind of stuff. And then I also recruit, so they are referred to as connectees. And then I recruit connectors, who are those local professionals in the community who have, you know, experience, lots of knowledge to share, all that kind of stuff. And I match two people who have similar background and experience so that the connectee, the newcomer, can start to get an idea of what exactly it takes to succeed in their field here. So it's not, you know, it's not an employment service. I don't, you know, we don't guarantee employment to our connectees. And the whole idea is really just for them to start building that network, building their professional network, getting to know people in the community, that kind of thing. And so I match two people together and then they connect. So for just kind of an informational interview, very kind of low risk, very informal, that kind of thing. And then the key piece afterwards sort of being that the connector then refers them to a few more people that they think might be, you know, good for the connectee to meet. And so the way it kind of ends up in a win-win for both parties, because obviously it's a good way for businesses to find new employees. And it's really nice because it's a very low risk way to kind of vet or pre-screen potential candidates. Because, you know, there's no, I kind of go very in depth with the connectees and make it very clear that this is not, you know, they're not expecting a job or an interview out of the meeting with the connector. Like, it's very just a conversation for the connector to, yeah, give them a better idea of what goes on in that specific field or that sector. Because I am not an engineer or I'm not an IT professional, so I don't know the ins and the outs of all that kind of stuff. With it too, the immigrants do improve their job readiness. I mean, we do offer different workshops and things like that to help with their job readiness. But then just kind of getting out there and getting firsthand accounts of people who are currently working. It's sort of unparalleled knowledge kind of thing. Like, I can sit here and blab to them and tell them how they should act and what they should be doing and everything. But again, I don't work in their field. So who better to learn from than those professionals. Obviously, the networks are built for the connectees, but then also strengthened for the connectors. I also try and, encourage my connectees to, they're not the only ones benefiting from this, that the connectors also do benefit and have to benefit. So being ready and open to, maybe they have some context that would be good for the connectors and things like that. And then just generally kind of the benefits to the labor market and community integration for the newcomers, and just getting them involved in their field and in their sector to kind of help strengthen that in the province. So like I said, very, very, brief overview, but it's a very simple program kind of at its core. So I didn't want to kind of go too far into detail. Kind of that key piece being that it's about networking. And so, yeah, just looking to connect those highly skilled newcomers. There is, criteria that they have to fall under in order to participate in the program. And so it's just a very, very good way to introduce people and help with that kind of diversity in the workforce, and maybe find some people that they otherwise wouldn't ever meet or get access to for those positions. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Great, thanks so much. So would you say it's kind of like a mentorship program, or is it a bit more informal than that, like just really making those introductions, or do those relationships
it's even more informal than a mentorship program?
Okay.
That's one of the differentiations that I always try to make clear to people who come on board as well, is that it's a lot less commitment on the connector side, where like I leave it, if a connector comes on board, they commit to meeting with a connectee and then giving those introductions to some more people in their network. But beyond that, there's no set commitment on the connector side. Like the connector decides. I've had situations where the connector has set more meetings with that specific connectee because it was a good connection and they got along and they maybe saw potential and things like that. But I make it very clear to the connectees that is not an expectation. That if that happens, bonus, that's fantastic for them. But really the connectors determine, how often they want to meet with connectees, and then whether or not they even want to continue a kind of more formal or a more regular relationship with them.
Great. And so does the connector need to be French speaking then? Do you need to be able to speak French to be able to participate? No? Okay.
No, it's, I mean, if they do, that's great. Like I do have some French speaking clients, but no, that's absolutely not a requirement.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next up, we have Nikki Langdon, the Prairie Regional Manager with Neil Squire. Welcome, Nikki.
Hello. You can see my screen okay?
You bet. Looks good.
Perfect. Okay. So, a little bit about us, just real brief. Neil Squire, we're the Neil Squire Society, and Neil Squire was a real person, high-level spinal cord injury at the age of 21, very young man. They wheeled him into a nursing home, said this gets to be your life, and he had a cousin named Bill Cameron who reworked a teletype machine. So with an inhale and an exhale, a sip and puff, Neil could communicate. So that was the beginning of our organization. And so we've grown, but we're sort of a technology-based organization. We're a national organization, and since our inception, we've worked with over 50,000 people. And just like lots of the others here, very, very client-centered. We're a client-led organization. The client comes to us with their goals, and we meet them exactly where they are. We work with people with disabilities. All they have to do is self-disclose they have a disability. We don't need any paperwork or anything like that. Do they have a disability or a barrier? A lot of our clients have, we have a lot of clients with invisible disabilities and visible. And just work with anybody who comes to us and says that they have something that they know may or may not be wrong, like they have trouble learning, they suffer from anxiety or depression. Even in COVID, people are really struggling and they can use our services at this time. All they have to do is self-disclose. So we have several programs, but I'm going to be very cognizant of my time. One of our programs is called the Working Together program. And what that is, that's very similar to some of the other employment programs. We have a group employment skills part. We have a continuous intake. So the beginning of every month, we have an intake, but our program is 4 months long, and it is a provincial training allowance approved program. I think the difference, if I were to speak to, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, is we have the computer training component as part of our interventions. We teach clients on how to use computers. In lots of cases, we're able to provide a computer laptop to the client, and we have a strong assistive technology support available where we're able to purchase assistive technology supports, give them to the client. The client can take them into their employment. And our assistive technology specialists have the equivalent of a master's degree in assistive technology, and that's what they do. So do assessment, recommendations, and we can purchase that assistive technology. Something else that we have access to is a wage subsidy. So we're able to pay the full wage of the client for at least 3 months. Depending more to the employer. And the expectation is the employer keeps the client after the subsidy is completed. And we have a 78% higher rate in that program. So the subsidy is basically to minimize the training period for the employer. And 78% of our clients are kept after subsidy. And it's also helpful, especially employers who are struggling at this time financially. So we can help in that way. Same as every other organization, it's about matching the client. We don't create jobs for the clients. The clients are fully skilled and able to do the job. They apply for the job, they're interviewed for the job, the employer decides if they want to hire them, and that's how that Working Together program works. As I touched on, we have the assistive technology component. These are some of the things that we do in our assistive technology. Now, there's also a component of this. This is fee for service as well. So if you have a business and you have somebody with a repetitive strain, one of your employees or yourself, we can come in and assess you, write a report. We do both assistive technology assessments and ergonomic assessments, depending on the size of the organization. If they're able to pay us on a fee for service basis for this service, then that goes into our coffers to support our nonprofit. All of our other employment programs, everything is free to all of our clients. But if an employer, say the provincial government hires us, they will hire us and pay for the ergonomic assessment or the assistive tech assessment. If the organization is small and can't afford that, then we can find funds to help you with that, to make sure that we can get your employee an assessment and provide them with the supports that they need to be able to do the job. So that's one area. Ergonomics, we do the ergonomic assessments as well. We do the same ergonomic assessments as other consultants. The only difference being is you'll be supporting a nonprofit and the work we do if you choose to hire us. We have a really cool, and this is fun, we just set the Guinness World Record for on December 3rd, UN Day for People with Disabilities, the most people doing assistive technology creation at the same time. Super fun. So we did that on Friday. And what this is, and I'm just going through this in case you have people who may be able to use this. Instead of paying an enormous amount of money for assistive technology, we're now making it. And we've got 3D printers and we can make assistive technology. So just give us a call. And these are some of the things on the screen that we just make. And for example, the key turner, you can see there, the key in with the little helps you get your key in a lock. My mom uses that because she has quite bad rheumatoid arthritis. And so these are things we can print for pennies. So just if you know somebody who needs something like that, that's another one of our programs. Lots of switches for kids doing gaming. We hack toys, meaning we make a toy with a simple switch instead of having to push the 10,000 buttons to get the thing to beep and boop and do whatever it does. We can hack it so kids with disabilities can play with the same toys, and we donate those to Wascana. So that's another thing we do. And then our last thing I just want to touch on is our digital literacy. So again, we help people learn basic computer skills toward their goal. We work with a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs and learn how to do QuickBooks and this kind of stuff toward, or how to do business on Facebook, Shopify, all those things. Help those people. Like, again, we are able to get some people computers, laptops to help with their learning. And it's, once again, meeting the client exactly where they are on their employment continuum. So if somebody needs some computer skills to throw together a resume and cover letter, absolutely. If you need our whole group program where you get the supports on how to learn those soft skills as well as the hard skills, then you do that with us. Or you only have to do part of it. You get the assistive technology assessment. We provide that technology. And another thing that I want to throw in here is we partner with all the other organizations. So and that's our collaboration piece. All of the organizations here, if you have a client that you're working with and you have a job for that client and there's just a little hitch or something, and if they need assistive technology to get through that, or if they need the support of that wage subsidy, just come to us and we will partner with you as an organization to give that client that extra step up. Again, they have to declare that they have a disability or barrier, but we work together with lots of organizations and partners, and Neil Squire work together quite a bit because they offer things we don't, we offer things they don't. And just exactly as Jason said, you can come to any of us and we can help you get to the place that will best serve you, or the combination of things that'll serve you. So did I make my 5 minutes? Any questions?
That's great. Thanks, Nikki. A Guinness World Record. That's very cool.
Oh, it was so fun.
So
Thank you. It's such an odd record to set. I can't imagine it's going to be challenged, but hey, yay.
Absolutely. No, that's a huge accomplishment. And that 3D printing is really great as well. Like you said, I mean, it costs pennies to do, but the value that can provide to someone and how much it can make their life simpler, I mean, that's immeasurable. That's really cool.
And we provide a lot of things to long-term care homes, you know, to really help, like a big ball to stick the toothbrush in just for grip. Like it's endless, the stuff we can do.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, my numbers, my email, and again, reach out because we can partner with anybody here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nikki. Next up, we have Nadima Omar, job developer with the Regina Immigrant Women's Center. And Nadima has with her colleagues, Chintel Patel and Temi Tope Onita. I'll turn it over to you guys.
Thank you, Nicole. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. There we go. Okay, is it showing? Yes. Okay, perfect. We'd like to start first by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 4 territory and that it's important that we recognize that we all have benefits and responsibilities under these treaties, and that we continue to work together towards the spread of collaboration and reconciliation. So thank you to the Regina District Chamber of Commerce for having us here today. And it's been really interesting to be able to see what our colleagues in the city are doing to build diverse workforces, because this is extremely important. Our city is growing. As someone who's been in Regina now for 10 years, I can definitely see a difference from when I first came to now. So it's amazing, and we want to continue with that. So I will hand over to my colleague Chantal to introduce us. And Tammy is not with us today, but we have our colleague and our manager, Justina. So I will hand over to them.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am glad to be here today, this afternoon, with all wonderful people here. I'll take this opportunity to introduce my colleagues. As Nadima, everyone knows, she's here. She's the job developer at the Assistive Program, and we have our employment program manager, Justina, with us. So at RIWC, can you move the slide for me, Nadima, please?
Yes.
Thank you. So at RIWC, we are growing as a nonprofit organization, and our focus is on providing opportunities and programs and services to all the immigrant and refugee women and their families to facilitate and support their integration into our local communities. We have been offering this service to integrate, educate, enrich, and empower our clients. As all three of us, like our client, are also an immigrant, and we knew that there are some barriers that most of the immigrant people face when they come to this new country, which can be lack of the Canadian workplace experience or lack of references, and maybe a cultural difference that they might face. So we at our organization, we try to just overcome these barriers and help our clients. So I'm going to speak to everyone about my program that I run, and it's called ACET. It's Access to Career Essentials and Information Technology. I'm the program coordinator for this program. This is the pretty new program that we started recently. I wouldn't say recently because we're in the third cohort of this program. It was started in May 2021. And this program is basically, we are offering to our clients virtually, keeping the present situation in mind, but ACET is an interactive and innovative online program created to develop the soft skill competencies of Canadian newcomers. It's a blended program where the clients are offered 7 modules and 6 workshops. So modules are something which is online, which they work on their own, and the workshops is like the clients come in for a session and we do the things together and do different kinds of activities. So it's like modules are the theoretical part of the program, whereas the workshop is more practical part of the program. So few key points that we cover in this program is help clients identify what existing skills they have, develop their personal brand, work on their personal branding, develop their social media presence, digital footprinting that we work with, develop their community of support, interview skills, professional communication, onboarding, organizational culture, and career progression. Along with this, our clients also receive one-on-one session before they go into the modules and the workshop. So when it comes to one-on-one session, we talk about our Canadian workplace culture. We talk about the importance of networking in today's world. So when it comes to the employers part, for us, especially for the ACET program, what we look out for is employers who can come in and do job shadowing or mentoring for our clients, come and do some kinds of presentations where the clients can know more about what kind of job openings are available in Regina, which kind of jobs they can apply for. And we also have some experts from different fields coming and speaking with our clients to tell them how to work on their resumes, how to work on their cover letters, how to present themselves with their interview skills and everything. So with ACET, we have few things that we keep in mind before we take the intake of our clients, which is very simple. With just look at the Canadian Language Benchmark assessment of level 6 and above. They should be permanent residents to be in our program, and they should have some of their skilled work experience from their back home. So this is what it is. It is like in ACET, we don't do any sort of commitment, like a lot of other people also say here that it's not an employment commitment that we get them hired somewhere, but we usually try and make sure that they at least have some mentors who are working in the same field so that get a better insight of the industry, try to arrange some informational interviews for them, they can know more about the industry. So moving on to our next program that we offer as employment part is TIOW, and I'll hand over to my manager, Justina, to speak about TIOW. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Nadima.
Thank you, Chantal. Yeah, so the next employment program that is offered at RIWC, it's called TIOW, in short, which is targeted initiative for older workers. And this program is designed for individuals who are between 55 and 64 years of age. So this program is designed to eliminate the gap that exists in the job market for older people to become gainfully employed. And similarly to other programs, this program consists two components. So we have in-class training, and participants of this program are also working for 6 weeks, 30 hours. So our goal when it comes to work placement is to provide our clients with a work experience that is somehow related to their previous experience, and to provide them with opportunity to gain Canadian work experience and to earn good job references that they need. When it comes to employers, there is no financial commitment. Participants of this program are financially supported by PTA, Provincial Training Allowance. So, and also are covered under programs WCB. So for the employers, the benefit, the opportunity is to work with prospective employee to determine if the individual will fit into their organization. And prior to committing to accepting the work placement, we provide our employers with a resume and also with a criminal record check. So we started this program recently with the first group that happened to be very successful, and we look forward to work with many more other clients and employers to benefit more individuals. Thank you.
Thanks, Justina. Thanks, Chantal. So I'll finish off with our last program, which is Yes Stay, which is quite a mouthful. It's Youth Employment Skills Strategy to Advance Immigrant Youth. Again, our clients have chosen Regina to be home, so we want them to stay. And how do we do that? Is to help them gain meaningful employment. So we work with youth to build up those skills first in the first half of our program, to build up skills, and then to get them into work placements, which are pretty substantial. It's 560 hours. So this is enough time for an employer to really try out a possible employee, and enough time for our clients to really build solid skills. In this program, we do reimburse the host employer for all of those 560 hours at that minimum wage. Employers are free to top that up, but we can only reimburse at that minimum wage. Our clients are typically between 20 and 30, even though we are allowed to take younger, but it is a full-time program, so it can be challenging for individuals who are in school. Our clients also come with previous work experience and education as well. So we try to match them, like many of our colleagues have talked about today. We do spend a lot of time understanding our clients' needs and trying to find placements that will really help push them forward. All right, and I'll let Justina close us off here.
Thank you, Nadima. Yes, so there are multiple benefits of working with RIWC. And when it comes to employers, let me list some of those. Definitely opportunity to boost productivity by bringing in new employees, contributing to the community by making Regina a welcoming city for newcomers, enhance corporate image as you take real steps in include newcomers in your work places, and enhance networking opportunities as our clients belong to community groups. So if we can leave you with one thing, is that our clients have chosen Regina. Let us giving them even more reasons to stay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. And here's our contact information as well.
Great. Thank you very much for that overview of your programs. There's, a lot of really great variety there to really support women in the workforce and our local employers to connect with those individuals. So thank you very much for sharing. All right. Now, last but certainly not least, we have Sarah Moorland Petrie, team leader, and Isaiah Dobby, job developer with Regina Work Preparation Center. Welcome, Sarah and Isaiah. Over to you.
So again, in keeping in mind with the time, I will work my best to be quickly and talk succinctly. So I work at Regina Work Preparation Center. I'm specifically the team lead for the Youth on Their Way to Work program, otherwise known as YOW, and our job developer team. Isaiah is one of our job developers on that team, who's here with me today. And so essentially the team works hard to make sure that we're doing our best for our clients in the building, but also for the employers that we work with. It's really important for us to have good connections with the employers so that we can create good connections for our clients. Sorry, I think I've pulled up the wrong, there we go, sorry about that. There we go. Just a very brief overview of Work Prep. So we are Regina Work Prep. We are based here in Regina, our nonprofit. We've been around for about 45 years. We have career counselors available. So just like many of the other programs, we have the same funding from the provincial and from the federal government to create programming that helps our clients to be job ready, to move into applicable positions through various ways. So I want to speak briefly about our job developer team. So what we do a little bit differently is we have a talent pool where we job match. So we don't necessarily recruit. We're not going to, go out into the organization or into the community blindly looking for people. There's recruiters for that. But what we will do is we will look through our talent pool of people and connect good fit employees with good fit employers. And so if you're having some struggles finding individuals, I know that there's a lot going on in the labor market right now, then we can help. We can do some job matching. We can also upskill some of our clients to be prepared to take on some of those roles if it's in their area of interest. So we have 2 job developers currently on our team. Again, Isaiah, who's here, and Gratian, and then myself. What our job developers do is we're trying to bridge the gap between job seekers and employment opportunities. So we'll speak with employers about what kind of needs they need, what are the areas that they need employees in, and we'll work with our clients to help, again, bridge that gap. So maybe it's some upskilling that's needed, maybe it's some digital literacy skills or some computer skills, maybe they just need to understand what working full-time looks like and be ready to do that, or the employment support's needed. Maybe they need work boots or gloves. We can arrange and supply those employment needs. So a bit about us and what we do for our clients to get them ready. We have a computer resource center. So this is where you don't necessarily need to sign up with a career counselor to access this. There's, we call it the CRC, but we have a computer resource center support staff person who is in there, who can help create that resume, create that cover letter, help you do a bit of job searching. Maybe you need to print off something for your taxes. Whatever you need, our computer resource center staff can help you navigate through that. Like I said, we're very similar to a lot of the other people who have already presented. We help our clients to be ready for all things employment. And so that's helping with, of course, resume and cover letter and job searching, interview skills and readiness, but also helping them understand their own mental health or physical health in the workplace, how that affects what kind of jobs they're looking for, what kind of work, and especially with COVID right now, what are the stipulations for COVID policy in different workplaces. In our one-to-one career consultation, again, we've got a couple different programs, but we can offer virtually the same thing. We just help individuals to gain all the skills that they need to be successful in their employment goals or their future goals. So sometimes that maybe is going back to education and we can help them apply for that. Maybe that's just, again, exploring some new employment opportunities that they didn't really know about before, creating their LinkedIn profile, etc. This is the specific program that I work for. I lead, it's called the Youth on Their Way to Work program. And so we work with individuals 15 to 30 who are not employed, not in school, and are ready to transition to the workforce. So what's a little bit different than any other program in our building is that there is a 6-week in-person employment readiness group that occurs 4 times a year. We actually just completed our 4th one of 2021, and 8 of our 10 clients have moved into their quality employment opportunity, sometimes known as a work placement, but it's a little bit different. And so we have 520 hours that we can dedicate to helping those individuals to be successful in their work so that they can continue on when those hours are over. We also have one-to-one case management. So every client who comes into this program has a case manager, as well as a job developer who works in as a team. And then if they do go on to our group program, then there's the group facilitator as well. So this is kind of one of our core programs. We have Employment Pathways, which does similar things, just without the 6-week employment group. And that's for anybody aged 15 to 99. One of our new programs, which isn't actually on this, I'll move on to the next slide, but actually isn't on this presentation, is a new one in collaboration with O4AY. So if you're an employer who's looking to hire some youth in that 15 to 30 range and you want to look into virtual hiring events, we have a dedicated virtual hiring event coordinator who works with Opportunity for All Youth and Hire Me to make virtual hiring events a thing for the employer to access. So if that's something you're interested in, you can contact our office and we can get you in touch with, her name is Cami. One of the other major ways that we help our clients to understand where they could go, some new opportunities, especially right now in the trades, although we have been contracted by the government now to build, I think, 5 new simulations, is our reality, virtual reality. So the client can hop in to a 20-minute session in a specific career area and do a demo. It's very real to life. I've done many of them, and you get kind of a little bit of a taste of like, oh, would I enjoy doing this? Or, oh man, I don't want to do this at all. It kind of hooks you up with just some understanding of your own soft skills, which is very useful. And then for some of our youth or people who have never looked at different kind of trade options, it really opens their eyes to some possibilities. In our last group, we had a couple young women who became very interested in a couple different trades that they hadn't even thought of as a career. So again, I'm gonna maybe ask Isaiah to pop his email into the chat real quick. If you're interested in contacting us for any of our services, if you're an employer who's looking to hire some individuals, we can check our talent pool and see where we're at with that. If we've got anybody who is a good fit, or if you've, again, got any questions about what we do in our building or our services, you can feel free to contact us. I tried to blast my way through that as quick as I could.
Thanks so much, Sarah. That virtual reality program is really cool. Just another innovative way of allowing people to experience different jobs and finding a good fit. I think that's really cool. We've heard quite a few really neat innovations today and things that all of your programs are doing, which is great to hear. And
in the new year, we're hoping, again, so most of our simulations right now are trades-based, but I know that we've been contracted to build, I think, a health tech and a frontline service worker, so like a grocery store clerk, I think. So we're moving more into some of those other skills that people are like, well, I don't know if I want to work here. So we have been contracted to build some of those simulations. So watch for 2022, they should be coming out.
That's very cool. That's great. Great. And it was also really interesting today to hear, how all of your different organizations kind of work together and collaborate and really support the community, which is awesome. So I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. I know that it was there was a lot of information shared about all of your different programs. And as I mentioned earlier, today's presentation is being recorded. And so if anyone wants to go back and watch anything, that will be available. Or, you can reach out to any of the organizations if you do think of any questions after today's meeting as well. I'm sure that any of them would be happy to have a chat and see how they can support you. So again, I would like to thank Regina Open Door Society, Saskatchewan Abilities, Partners in Employment, Takata HR Resources, CECS, Neil Squire, Regina Immigrant Women's Center, and Regina Work Prep for our presentations this afternoon. They're all, such important programs for our community and our economy. There's a lot of value that all of you bring forward. So thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you as well to SAS Jobs for supporting our event and to everyone for attending. As I mentioned, this is the third and last virtual event in our series, but we're currently planning some additional events for the new year to continue to support you in your hiring efforts. So stay tuned for more information. And in the meantime, stay safe and have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care.